look at the lineups. Familiar names all. Even the rookies, Mobley and Dickerson, by now are familiar, having started for most of the season for the Rockets. And before the tip-off, let's check with Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Bob. I was talking to Senior Executive Vice President of the Houston Rockets, Robert Barr, about the Big Three. He said this is the time that we brought the Big Three in to try to win a championship. I talked to Charles Barkley about that. He said that they're calling us the Big Three now, but if we don't stand up and perform, they'll just be calling us three old people that have gone past our prime. Now, Hakeem Olajuwon, my main man, gave me a little cold shoulder today. I couldn't figure that out. He told me the reason was that every time they're on NBC, they lose. I looked it up. 13 times on NBC they've lost. I had to remind Hakeem that 2 times they won NBA championships right here on NBC. So therefore, they got to look at it this way. This could be the start of something big. Bob?
Ahmad, thanks a lot. Scottie Pippen scored 20 or more only 9 times in 50 games, but one of those was a 26-point performance on April 26th in Houston against the Lakers. He was also a defensive force in that game. Charles Barkley, second in the league in rebounding, averaged 16 points a game, but averaged 22 against the Lakers. Here's the flip side. Olajuwon did have a good game in the one game the Rockets beat the Lakers, but in the 2 losses, he fouled out both times trying to defend the bigger and stronger O'Neal.
Well, they really don't have a backup. They're going to have to keep Olajuwon on the floor. And, Bob, both these teams like to run it up and down the floor, so transition defense is going to be critical, and then matchups. When we talk about matchups, Scottie Pippen normally matched up against Kobe Bryant. He's going to guard Glenn Rice and try to take away his three-point shooting. So we'll have to watch how that goes the rest of this day.
As you see in the 4-5, the lower seed has won the series more often than not, despite giving away the extra home game. The officials are Dick Bavetta, Derek Stafford, and Ted Bernhardt. Underway at the Forum, and the Lakers control the tip. Derek Fisher, who had a poor season, but came on the last couple of weeks to play much better, gives it up to Rice, who lays it up underhand, no good. Loose ball, fought for. Rice comes away with it. Finding O'Neal.
Extra possessions in playoff games become so critical. A great hustle play that time by Rice to find Shaq.
Scottie Pippen playing in the 179th playoff game of his career. 6-time titleist. Off to Barkley, still looking for his first. He takes his team's first shot and gets the roll.
Now, when I talked to the Lakers, they said, we're not going to double-team Barkley early. We're going to make him think about scoring. They don't want to get these young guys into the game early. Mobley and Dickerson with 3-point shooting.
J.R. Reed against Barkley. Draws the double, brings it out top to Fisher. 3 seconds to shoot. Fisher misses on the drive. Dickerson up in the air, has to get rid of it to Barkley, who was fouled as he released the shot. It's on Reed, his first. Charles Barkley, who played this season in the best shape he's been in years, maybe in his entire career. He played 42 of the 50 games. Pippen and Hakeem each played 50 of 50.
Well, he's the one tough matchup for the Lakers in the low post. He's the guy they have to double team. You see Barkley loves to back down. You see it here in this replay, but the numbers for Charles Barkley, he gets up for huge games and he loves to play against the Lakers.
Barkley, and Fisher brings it across. He injured his left shoulder in Friday's practice, but pronounced himself okay yesterday. No ill effects. Dickerson on Bryant. Jumper over it. Rattles out. And Olajuwon takes it. Here's Scottie on the move, finding Hakeem. Barkley on the offensive glass. Sticks with it, but finally Reed wrests it away from him. Lakers back in a hurry, but Bryant almost lost the dribble. Now finds Rice. Glenn Rice.
When you can shoot the three, you have to close out. And what Glenn Rice is doing is he's getting in better shape. He's starting to drive the ball to the basket. That's what you have to do. You cannot just be a specialist. When he's at his best scoring, Bob, he mixes his game up.
Rice closed the regular season with a 40-point outburst here Wednesday against Portland, making 8 of 10 from beyond the three-point line. Olajuwon. In the low block, double teamed and fouled. Now, O'Neal will come to the line. He shot 54% this year. That's actually his best percentage in the last 5 years. If he had shot them just a little bit better, he would have won the scoring title. He lost it by a fraction of a point to Allen Iverson. He has won the scoring title once. He has lost it on 3 other occasions by less than a point, finishing second. Free throw shooting really was the difference. They wouldn't have to gear their offense to him anymore. If he simply made a higher percentage of the free throws, his team would be better off, and he'd be a 4-time scoring champion.
Well, when you play against Shaquille O'Neal, you have to know when to use your fouls, and you can see this year against the Rockets what he's done. The April 26th, that's when the team really hit rock bottom. But you have to make sure that you use your fouls judiciously. If you foul too early, you get your front line in foul trouble. More importantly, you start parading other guys to the free throw line, and you want to stay away from that.
Largely because Shaq shoots such a huge percentage of the free throws they do take, as Dickerson's shot is no good and Reed rebounds. The Lakers are the worst free throw shooting team in the playoffs. Bryant. Shaq battling for the rebound, and a loose ball foul is called on him. Probably worth repeating. Of the 16 playoff qualifiers, the Lakers are the worst free throw shooting team, and often in the playoffs, that's the difference. Dickerson thought about a 3, returns it to Barkley. Ball knocked away, and a whistle. Barkley committed the foul, trying to take it back.
Bob, that was a great play by Derek Fisher. He really came in from the blind side on Barkley. Barkley passed it out of a double team. He got it back, and Fisher on the bounce got back in there, got down on the floor for the loose ball, and the foul on Charles Barkley. Nice play by Fisher.
O'Neal with the screen for Bryant. Ball knocked away from behind by Mobley. Here's Cuttino Mobley all the way to the hoop.
The Rockets are running more the last couple of weeks of the season. They realize that this is the way that they can win a championship. If they come down and play out of the half court and get too predictable, they get themselves in trouble. So you're going to try to see them run at every occasion.
Shaq had it knocked away, chases it to the side. Fisher's wide open for 3. Off the back iron. And Barkley claims the rebound. The jumper from the side is good, and it counts for 3 for Mobley.
Well, we talked about Mobley and Dickerson being such keys rookies, but these guys are a little different, Bob. They have great confidence, and the team believes in them also.
Nice juggles and recovers. Pippen is on him, spins past him, and banks it home.
Scotty got burnt there when he went for that steal. You just got to square him up. When he breaks him down, he compromises his team's defense. Olajuwon
turns, shoots, and connects.
He's gotten off to a great start. A little jump hook in the lane earlier. This time the dream shake on that baseline.
Rockets have the Lakers doubled up at 12-6. Here's Kobe. When he elevates like that, it's virtually unblockable.
You know what, for Kobe, the first 3 or 4 minutes, he actually was too excited. And I think a guy like Kobe, when he gets a little tired, will be more effective. He's got so much energy, that time under more control.
Hakeem had it slapped away. Fisher to the floor. Ball still loose, and now Rice has it. Derek Fisher to Reed. Knocked away. Good defensive play by Pippen. It'll be Laker ball from under the basket when we come back. These teams finished the 50-game regular season with the same record. The Lakers got the 4th seed by virtue of winning 2 out of 3 against the Rockets. They met only 3 times because of the abbreviated schedule. The Lakers won their 2 home games. They played only once in Houston. So by virtue of that, the Rockets give away the extra home game in this series. Kobe Bryant into a crowd. A whistle as they go to the floor. Rudy Tomjanovich bolts out of his seat on the Rocket bench. And the foul is on Dickerson of the Rockets, his 2nd.
I think Rudy wants to know where was the foul. It looked like that Kobe went up in the air and got smothered by 2 defenders, and the ball went loose. I don't know where the foul was called, but he's getting a 2-shot foul there. Let's watch. Kobe goes into the middle. He jumps in the air. 2 defenders, are actually 3, and contact, but I'm surprised they called it on Dickerson. Actually, Olajuwon could have gotten the foul if there was one.
Bryant is an 84% free throw shooter, and he makes the 1st. Dickerson goes out with the 2 fouls, replaced by Sam Mack. And it's a 2-point game as Kobe hits them both. Barkley brings the dribble across. Mack thought about a 3, didn't take it.
I like the fact that he just got in the game, he didn't shoot it. Let yourself get warmed up a little bit.
Well, he thinks he's warm enough now, but he's wrong. The rebound taken by Shaq and retaken by Akeem. Barkley had it go off his fingertips. Laker ball. The winner of this series, barring a shocking upset by Minnesota, which now trails 0-1 against the Spurs, will get San Antonio in the next round. Here's Rice, double pumping, dropping it off to Shaq and getting it back.
That's beautiful basketball. That's something you did not see from the Lakers early this year. They're starting to pass and cut, believe in each other. Great give and go. These guys are really good friends off the court, and Shaq really loves to play with Rice. He's been in his corner even through all the struggles.
Hakeem at the top of the key. Shaq comes out to meet him, but Olajuwon drills it anyway.
See, that's a shot I talked about in our open, Bob. He can step out on the floor. Shaq doesn't like to cover out there about 15 feet.
Fisher off to Rice. On the move. The rebound to Akeem. Mobley to the hoop. And he was fouled.
You can watch Glenn Rice here. He gets chased off this shot by Scottie Pippen. He gives it up and he doesn't stand. Then he cuts right back. He leaves Scottie standing behind him. And against Portland, Bob, he was absolutely sensational. 40 points. He broke that game opening. 8 of 10 three-point shooting, tying Nick Van Exel's team record. But his last 2 games, he got 62 points, much more comfortable in the flow of what they're trying to do.
Folks, you can log on to NBA.com where breaking news, video highlights, real-time scores, stats, and live radio broadcasts for every NBA game are only a mouse click away. Also get complete NBA playoff coverage, including series previews, expert analysis, head-to-head stats. That's NBA.com, your ultimate online resource for all things NBA. The rookie Mobley, whose nickname is Cat, naturally enough, with the first name of Coutinho, their second-round draft choice. They took Dickerson and Bryce Drew with their 2 first-round picks. He makes them both. Fisher for 3.
You got to trust your teammates. You come off that screen. If they're going to come over and help, you got to get the ball up, and that's what Kobe's been doing. Nice play.
Barkley out. Othella Harrington is in right now for Houston. Fisher's got Pippen on a switch. Scottie trying to back him in for the turnaround. That's too long. And Kobe grabs the rebound. Rice slings it cross court to Fisher. Now inside to Shaq. And it's through Rice's hands and will belong to Houston. To this point in the game, Rice has 5 shots. Shaq only 1.
See, I like that. How many times have we seen Shaq in the first quarter spend so much energy throwing up a 15-point quarter, and then come fourth quarter not have energy to finish? He trusts his teammates. He's going to be strong at the finish.
And a whistle at the other end. It comes with 3:51 to play in the first, and the Rockets up by a point.
Bob, you see how Mobley comes over to give help. He absolutely leaves Fisher, and that's where Kobe can't fight a double team. He's got to give the ball up and look over and say, you know what, I didn't score, but I got my teammate a wide open shot, and I have the ability with my creativity to get a shot for a teammate anytime I want to.
As you see, the assists rose as the season moved along. In fact, in the last 5 games, he averaged only 16 points, so his scoring came down and he was distributing the ball a bit better. Foul a moment ago on Fisher was his first. Here's Scotty from the baseline. He'll come to the foul line after missing the jumper. Now Derek Harper makes his first appearance as Fisher goes out. The foul was on Bryant, his first. Derek Harper, at age 37, in his 16th year, has played more games at guard, counting the playoffs, than anyone in the history of the league except John Stockton. But he faded in April. The grind of the season plus an injury to his right foot.
Well, you can see starts in the minutes, and Harper actually, as you said, Bob, played too many minutes early because he was playing so well, and he wore down, and they gave him some time off at the end of the year to rest that foot. They need him to be fresh. What, maybe 18, 20 minutes, come off the bench, give them good defense, make open shots.
Rick Fox and Robert Horry also in for Los Angeles. Bryant caught the pass and proceeded to travel, and the ball goes back to Houston. So Shaq and Kobe are on the floor, but Harper, Horry, and Fox are in off the bench.
They're checking for blood right now. It looks like somebody has a cut, so they're trying to find out where that blood is coming from. The rule is such where if you're bleeding, you have to go up and get it stopped, even if it's on your uniform. So it was on the back of Kobe's shorts right there.
He remains in, guarding Pippen. In the first 2 meetings between these clubs, Bryant was very effective against Scotty. Scotty got the best of it in Houston on April 26th.
Well, when Scotty went in the post, he blocked some of his shots. Let's see what happens here.
Might have gotten a piece of that. Pippen trying to stick with it. Ball batted out to Olajuwon. Now Scotty in position to shoot a 3, but won't. Tries to wheel on Bryant, and he travels.
Kobe is tall enough, and he's got long enough arms, and he's quick enough off his feet that he can bother Scotty in the post, and that's what he did on that last couple possessions there, where got the first, got a piece of it, then Scotty got another one blocked, and then forced to travel.
Shaq, and as he puts it on the floor, there's another whistle. And another travel. We'll step aside for a moment. As we come back, Shaq confronts a familiar face. His old LSU teammate Stanley Roberts is in the game. He's got a harness of sorts and a heavy bandage on his injured left shoulder. Here's Roberts. Goes to work on Shaq right away. Fadeaway shot, no good. Pippen with the tip, that won't drop. Ovella Harrington battles, keeps it alive, out to Price for 3. Finally, Shaq clears it. Harrington, meanwhile, was poked in the eye, and he's holding his face as he goes back on defense. Harper left all alone, misses. Pippen takes the rebound. Harrington still struggling. He doesn't accompany his teammates to the offensive end.
Rudy's going to have to take a 20-second timeout. They're playing 4-on-5 right now. He's trying to get one, and nobody sees it. It's going to cost him a possession here.
Here's Price. And finally, they get the timeout with just 7 seconds on the shot clock.
You would think that you would know that one of your teammates wasn't down there. You're playing a 4-man offense. You're saying, where's our 5th guy? And Harrington underneath the basket.
Rick Fox reaches in, and as you can see, gets him somewhere in the vicinity of the left eye. This is after the Rockets took possession back. The ball is in play at the other end. Houston's got the ball, and Harrington rolls off the court.
Well, you know, anybody who's ever got poked in the eye like that, if that's what occurred, you know, Bob, it just takes you out of everything. You lose your equilibrium, you're bound to get dizzy, and you can see him go down there just so he doesn't fall. Just roll over and sit.
Ovella Harrington, a very important man for them off the bench. Actually, he started when Barkley was hurt earlier in the season. Shoots better than 50% from the floor, very tenacious rebounder. in his 3rd year in the league out of Georgetown.
And he's very active. He gives them extra shots. You saw the last possession where he got the offensive rebound. He can run the floor, beat big men up and down the floor. So let's hope that he's going to be okay.
Matt Bullard, whose game is much different than Harrington's, comes in to replace him. Bullard's specialty, despite his 6'10" size, is long-range shooting. He's a three-point threat.
And you talked about Stanley Roberts a while ago. The reason they activated him is for a series like this and for other teams where they had the big guys who needed a big body.
Rice had it poked away. Pippen is there to grab it. Has to try to get it off to beat the shot clock. And a 24-second violation as it never got to the rim.
See, that was all because they didn't see Rudy that they needed a 20-second timeout. Bob, they ran it down so far that once they got to 20, the Lakers came out of that timeout and took them right out of what they wanted to do.
Pippen, by the way, is 0 for 5 from the floor in this game.
Kobe feels very confident playing him.
Rockets by 3 as we move inside 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. The pass eludes Bryant. It's taken by Mack. Sam Mack lays it in.
Mack is normally a three-point shooter, so now he gets a layup. You got to watch to see if that triggers now that open shooting from the outside.
Shaq tries to muscle up on his old teammate Roberts. There was a bit of contact, but no whistle. Pippen comes back with the ball for Houston. Here's Scotty. Left hand, he was fouled. Tonight on NBC, based on a true story, his daughter was murdered. Now one father won't rest until her killer is brought to justice. The hunt for the unicorn killer tonight on NBC. The foul was on Ori, his first.
And we talked about Scottie Pippen. He's 0 for 5, as you said, but the more important thing, he's being very aggressive. Bob, we've seen him in games this year where he just stood on the perimeter and really not have been a factor. He's the kind of guy, he's very streaky. He might be 0 for 5 and might make 4 in a row. He'll get to the free throw line. He'll get some fouls, and that's what he has to do with his activity.
The last playoff game Scottie Pippen played in here was in June of 1991, the Game 5 clincher for the Bulls as they won their first title against Magic Johnson and the Lakers. And that night, Scottie had 32 points and 13 rebounds. Shaq against 2 defenders. Ball loose. He's got it again.
They gave him a new shot clock. I don't know if that ball hit the rim or not.
I don't think it did. Harper trying to lay it off to O'Neal. And there's a whistle, and it may be to discuss just that. Rudy Tomjanovich was right in the ear of Derek Stafford, and play is stopped. Dick Bavetta goes over to explain the situation. That's Sean Rooks, meanwhile, waiting to check in.
Let's see if Shaq shot. That ball never hit the rim, so they shouldn't have got to recycle. That ball falls short. That ball is 4 feet short. That should not have recycled. So good home keeper there. Timekeeper gives them a good clock, but the Houston bench saw it and pointed it out to Dick Bavetta and the officials.
I want to talk about a contrast. Rudy Tomjanovich on the one bench, veteran coach. He'll be the Olympic coach in Sydney, Australia. 2-time champion as a coach in '94 and '95. They've just given the ball to the Rockets, and they've called it a 24-second violation. Tomjanovich has been in this situation and situations like it so many times. He has won 50 playoff games. Kurt Rambis has coached 37 total games of any kind as a head coach.
And those 37 games must have seemed like 82 this year, all that he went through. And I think he's done a pretty good job right now of getting his team together and ready. He's upset, but the call was right, Bob. That ball did not hit the rim. That was good refereeing.
The Lakers have been guilty of 7 turnovers in this first quarter. Stanley Roberts over Rooks. The rebound snatched by Ori. Pippen up on Fox. Eight on the shot clock. Fox for 3. Pippen got a piece of it. Houston can hold it now for the last shot if they choose.
Well, the Rockets have had a terrific defensive first quarter. 15 points, a chance to go up 9 or 10 here if they score.
Price. His pass deflected by Fox and out of bounds as the horn sounds to end the first quarter. The Rockets up by 7.
Terrific defense, because what it also means is they're getting to three-point shooters and closing out. So the Rockets have to be very, very happy with that.
Here's Price breaking free, then finding Olajuwon. They swing it to the side from Mack, and his three is no good. Harper comes away with it. Sean Rooks, now Rice. Good look at it, and he puts it down.
Well, we had a great view of that. That was online the minute it left his hand. You cannot give Rice those kind of baskets. Now, Bob, with a substitution, Rooks now has to play Olajuwon as Shaq is resting. Let's see if they can go in the post and take advantage of that.
The basket by Rice, though, the first Laker points in 5 minutes of playing time. They didn't score the last 4:40 of the first. Here's Bullard, nice move, and he swishes it. Rice, who puts it behind the back, almost loses it. Now Bullard switches onto him. 8 on the shot clock. Rice in the lane. Got it.
I've never seen him this aggressive right now with his offense. He's normally just been a spot-up shooter for this team, really putting it on the floor, making things happen.
He scored 11. No other Laker has more than 4. Olajuwon, a little shake, nowhere to go. Hakeem over Rooks.
That matchup is there for them. Rooks cannot handle him, so as Shaq rested during this period of time, they go to Olajuwon, and Kurt Rambis sees it and says, you know what, I got to get Shaq back on the floor.
Here's Fox, Pippen on him, pokes it away, dives after it, but it's out of bounds, and the Lakers will keep it. Barkley's coming back in for Houston. Shaq is back in for Rooks.
Well, Rice with a spot-up 3 off the ball movement, and then the next one is you see him dribbling, pounding the basketball, spinning, something we have not seen much of. This is the way he played in Charlotte. The confidence, blending in with his new team and giving him space to work, and then the little medium-range jump shot.
Back live, here's Harper to the hole, and it won't go for him. Olajuwon protects the rebound. Price. It rattles out after he split virtually the entire Laker defense. Fox. Price races over to cover it, leaving Harper alone. No luck. Pippen around Ori. Ori got a piece of it as he recovered, and an offensive foul is called as Fox had established position, and Pippen slammed into it.
It was bleeding. They took him to the locker room, and they were evaluating the situation. They stopped the bleeding. Now he has the ice on it, trying to keep the swelling down. He was knocked a little bit woozy, so he's trying to clear up right now, and they're waiting to see if the swelling goes down. If it goes down, he's available. If not, then he won't play. Bob?
Thanks. O'Neal muscles up against 2 defenders and scores just his second basket.
And that's the paint catch that if he gets, they cannot defend. Deep underneath the basket, the double team cannot get there.
Olajuwon does it a different way.
That's that little jump shot. See, Shaq doesn't like to cover out. Olajuwon knows that. They're actually going to screen down for him to free him for those kind of shots.
Hakeem's got 10 for the season. He averaged 19. At the peak of his career, he was around 28 a game.
Now watch where Shaq posts up this time, deep underneath the basket. He catches it. Scottie Pippen wants to come give help. There's no way he can get there. He's so close to the basket.
Rice into O'Neal. Dickerson over on the double team. Shaq has it back. Up in the lane, won't go. Another try. Same result. Ori tries the tip and is called for the loose ball foul. No, it'll be on Houston. It'll be on Dickerson of Houston, and that's his third. So Dickerson has to sit down again. and Catino Mobley comes in to replace him.
Michael Dickerson has not been able to get involved in this game with his fouls. That's 3, as you talked about. More importantly, he does not have any points. So they've taken him out of his first playoff game here early.
Fisher broke free, but coming over to block it is Olajuwon.
Where did Olajuwon come from? It looked like Fisher was wide open at a point-blank layup. You see, he's not even in the picture. Olajuwon, that's why he was the Defensive Player of the Year twice. For those kind of plays and that kind of shot blocking. Showing real quickness at age 36. Fisher into the lane. Hits on the move. That was an angry basket there. Fisher just said, I'm going back in one more time. We're going to have to do it again. Rockets by 4. Fisher poking at it, knocked it away from Price. It's still Houston ball. It appears that Price and Sam Mack will be important in this game because Dickerson can't get going, and now he's saddled with 3 fouls. And see, Brent Price also has a little more ball handling ability, so they can take Scottie Pippen off the ball and rest him. He's out of the game right now, so really Price becomes their primary ball handler. Here is Price. Trying to find Barkley, they throw it away. Unforced errors. You just can't force the ball in traffic, and Brent Price knows that. He's upset with himself. Make the simple play. You got to get shots at the basket. Turnovers are even at 7. Rice with the turnaround. See, when he was in Charlotte, he was a terrific low-post scorer. And with Shaq, they have not done a lot of that. They are starting to go to all phases of his game. He's playing great. Coming off an injury and in an unfamiliar offense that certainly wasn't geared toward him, Glenn Rice shot 43% this year, the worst of his 10-year career. But he's heating up now as the regular season ends and the playoffs begin. Mobley travels, 8th turnover for Houston. Look at that, there's some evidence. Well, the last 4, and then you see the last 2, 62 points. But what he's done is he's kept his team in the game. The rest of his team are shooting 5 for 20, so he's kept them close while the rest of his teammates are struggling. Here he is once more. Same result. Counting the last game against Portland, and so far in this one, he's made 21 of his last 29 shots. As the Rockets have rested Scottie Pippen, they really fell into the turnovers. They've got to get some shots at the basket. Barkley backing in, dealing out to Price for 3. Long rebound fought for. Barkley almost had it. Instead, it's Ori looking for Rice. Olajuwon got back and broke it up. To the hoop. Shaq might have gotten a small piece of that. And back comes Los Angeles looking to take the lead. Bryant snaps it inside to O'Neal. Great play by Kobe. Goes in the air, looks like he's going to shoot the 3. And again, did you see how deep that Shaquille O'Neal had him posted? Unstoppable in there. Olajuwon quiets the crowd. The mid-range jumper once again. Hakeem is a very, very smart player. He knows where his strengths lie, and he's utilizing them. He scored 12. Kobe's open for 3. Isn't it amazing when you give the ball up and get great assists? It always comes back to you, and Kobe there is the recipient of that 3. He scored 7. More importantly, he has 5 assists. Hakeem out to Mobley, and now he has it back. 6 seconds to shoot. 3 seconds to shoot. Sam Mack. He'll take it away. Offensive foul. Shaquille O'Neal running the floor so deep, he's got Olajuwon actually off the floor when he posts. Look at the energy, and then Kobe out of the double team. Fisher swings it across. He said, your turn, you buried the 3, and he does. And right now the Lakers are doing this with defense. They forced some turnovers, and with Pippen down, the Rockets offense has fizzled.
Shaq on that low block against Olajuwon, muscles up on him, and there's a whistle that will bring Shaq to the free throw line. The foul on M.E.M is his first.
You see what these two players have done against the Rockets this year, the points, the rebounds, field goals, free throws, and all. But what I like right now is there's a real balance to what they're doing out there. They're spreading the ball around, and they're getting very good shots. And you know, Bob, Shaquille and Kobe, neither one panicked when they weren't involved early. Rice carried them. Now they're getting themselves involved.
Bucks and Pacers in a 7-2 matchup tonight on TNT at 8 Eastern. Could be a 4-game day and night for you if you have the appetite for it. 1 of 2 for Shaq, who's 1 for 4 in the game at the line.
Let's see if Pippen can stabilize this team a little bit, get them a good shot. He rested on the bench for a while and did not work.
Inside for Olajuwon, stolen by Shaq, who brings the dribble out of the backcourt himself. Lob for Kobe! Wow, a high archer that stops the applause and the hooping and hollering after Bryant's dunk.
Now, how often have you seen a guy 7'3", 340 pounds, pound that ball up the floor and throw an alley-oop to a guy right on the money for a dunk?
Here's Fisher slicing through, finding Reed. J.R. Reed is hammered. Let's watch it. He steals it. He brings the dribble out of the backcourt, and he throws a perfect lob pass.
I mean, he's going 94 feet with this ball. Look at Shaquille O'Neal. Look at the mobility. Now watch the soft pass to Kobe Bryant. You know what, Bob? You don't have to be friends to play basketball together. When you get out there 94 to 50, that's 94 by 50 on that floor. That's when you have to get along. And these two guys appears that they need each other, and they know it now. And they're playing like that.
Reed missed the first, one more coming. The foul was M.E.M's second. Houston comes back in a hurry, but Mack is cut off by Shaq. Lakers by 5. Here's Pippen, and as he receives the pass, there's a whistle. They hit Kobe with his second. Jerry West, sometimes absent during this Lakers season. He says it's because his stomach gets into knots. He cares so much, as he puts it, that sometimes it's easier for him to be at home watching it on television than in the building. That's usually where he watches it from, in the runway, and he can turn away and pace if he has to. Part 2 of Jim Gray's interview with him at halftime of this game. An excellent job done by Jim in his sit-down with Jerry this week. Contact away from the ball. Olajuwon hits the deck. The foul is on Rice. That's his first.
Well, Olajuwon tried to cut across the lane to go into the post, and Glenn Rice just leveled him, knocked him down on the floor. Still not in the penalty, so they'll take it sideline out.
Pippen gets a screen from Olajuwon, pops the jumper, and connects. Speaking of West, he says it's all because of emotions. A lot of people thought that he distanced himself from the team earlier this year because he didn't approve of some of the moves, especially the acquisition of Rodman. Jim Gray asked him about that. You may have seen it earlier. Part 2 at halftime of this game. Shaq, little fadeaway.
See, Bob, when you get double teamed in the low post, if you give that ball up and then repost, getting it back is easier the second time, and that's what they're doing right now. Inside, outside, and then back in again.
Shaq reaching in on Olajuwon and picking up a foul.
Two young guys, talented, leading their team right here today. Great play by Shaq to Kobe. They lead by 5.
M.E.M has 2 coming. A change on the foul call just before the commercial. They charge it to Rice, his second. So Shaq is spared the foul, and he still has but 1. Rockets close to within 4. Fisher looking for Rice. Now J.R. Reed. That's Reed's first basket. Here's Barkley. And it goes down for him. To clarify something we mentioned a moment ago, some of you in the Central and Eastern time zones are going to get local news at halftime and won't see part 2 of the West interview. Fisher all alone. Derek Fisher hits.
Just to tell you how well the Lakers are playing right now, that's 15 assists that they have, Bob. They're moving the basketball, and they're believing in each other. On the other hand, Houston, 5 assists.
On the other hand, if you live in the Mountain or Pacific time zone, have the satellite, or can catch a quick flight, you can see Jerry West at halftime. Here's Barkley through a crowd, and before he gets it off to Pippen, there's a foul call.
The Rockets' philosophy is going to be, we're going to make Derek Fisher shoot some outside shots. But he's done a good job, and you see him spot up, and he's really wide open. They're not rotating off Glenn Rice because they don't want to free him up. And basically, Fisher is squaring himself up and knocking him down today.
Foul was on Rick Fox's first. Rockets put it in from the side. Barkley bounces it out to Pippen. Gets it back and hits.
Bob, we talk about the value of Scottie Pippen. With him on the floor, they were +4 scoring. When he sat down, they were -9. So they really can't afford to rest him. That's one of the reasons he played 40 minutes a game this year and was 6th in the league in minutes played. They just can't afford to take him off the floor.
Here's Rice. Feeling it. And it continues.
Now he's doing this against a guy who's been a 7-time All-League defender. So Scottie Pippen has got his hands full today. Glenn Rice, that time with the jump hook.
Pippen lost it. The Lakers take it back, riding a hot streak. As a team, they've made their last 10 consecutive shots.
Rice wants the ball. He gets it. He squares it up. Jump hook, sort of half shot off the glass.
Fisher pushes it up. Shaq, the 3rd try, and now the 4th, and finally a foul. Fisher made a bid to get his name in the highlight reel there with an acrobatic attempt that almost went down. Meanwhile, tonight on NBC.
A notorious killer and a
First one is good for O'Neal, putting him in double figures with 10. He took more free throws per game than anyone in the league. 10 and change per game. Barkley has the rebound. Last minute of the first half. The Lakers, after trailing the entire first quarter and much of the second, now lead it by 8. Barkley hits the reverse.
Again, they do not choose to double team Charles the last 2 possessions, and he scores. Again, they're trying to keep the other guys out of the game, Bob. They don't want to free up that 3-point shooting that the Rockets depend so much on.
Here's Fisher, pulls up and banks it home, I think unintentionally, but everything's working for the Lakers.
Well, that was a 2-for-1 possession. He shot that quickly so they could get the ball back. Now Barkley will come down and shoot a 3 if JR backs off of him.
It's Mobley and now Pippen. Mack is open for 3. Had a good look at it, couldn't hit it. Here comes Fox. Behind the back, they've got 4 seconds now. Rice cannot miss. Shot that one from somewhere in Santa Monica to end the first half. The Lakers lead the Rockets 52-41. Coming up for many of you, except in the Pacific and Mountain time zones, an extended break for your local news. After that, we'll send you to New York for highlights of earlier games today in the NBA. That's all after these messages from your local station.
You know what? I still think our upside is far greater than anybody else in the Western Conference if we can just get it together. And scarily for the Western Conference, they've gotten it together at the right time, playoff time, and they're playing beautiful basketball right now.
There's such a difference between coaching in the postseason in the NBA as opposed to the regular season, especially this year, where you can't even prepare for any regular season games. Now you've got the same opponent for maybe 5 games, maybe 7 in the later rounds. Here's Dickerson, can't connect. Rice grabs the rebound. Dickerson reaches in, and if the foul is on him, and it has to be, he's the only blue shirt there, that's his 4th.
Well, that's what we talked about. Rookies in their first playoff game, the excitement, the feeling you get, and Michael Dickerson has struggled today. Rudy T is going to have to think about what he wants to do coming off his bench, but he's played 6 minutes today, and he's picked up 4 fouls.
How about that difference, though, postseason coaching as opposed to the regular season, especially this year?
Well, it's the most fun time to coach because you make the subtle little changes in the adjustments.
Fisher misses.
To be able to get your people in the right spots, you watch tape, you see what they're doing defensively and offensively, and you make those adjustments.
Dickerson can't hit.
And, you know, Bob, more importantly as a coach, you know at that point in time, your players are listening. They listen during the playoffs. Sometimes during the regular season, they tune you out.
J.R. Reed over Barkley. Not quite. Barkley blocked it. Pippen behind the Olajuwon screen. Bryant fights through it. Now Scotty's free. And it goes down for him. A 2-point basket. His foot was just over the line. How important was it for Houston to lose the tiebreaker and surrender home court in this series? Lots of ways to look at it. As Bryant drives by Dickerson and hits the reverse. They don't give extra points for degree of difficulty, but the fans appreciate it.
I'm telling you, if I guarded Kobe Bryant, I would jump so far to that baseline, he'd have to drive 3 rows up in the stands to beat me at the baseline.
Dickerson lost it. Olajuwon, though, regains it and pops it home. The Houston Rockets beat only one team that had a winning record this year. Shaq just shakes off Olajuwon to slam it. I mean, he just tossed him aside like he was a rag doll.
Well, we've seen that now. When he catches that ball in that paint, good night.
Pippen to Mobley, now Dickerson. A set shot from the side for 3.
That was a confident shot right there, even through all of his struggles. The Lakers still are only up 8. If they can get a couple stops and a couple scores, you're right in the ball game, even with all the excitement the Lakers have produced today.
Rice sizzling hot to end the half. Pippen is on it. And there's a whistle for a foul. Just to finish up, the Rockets won only 1 road game this year against a team with a winning record. They won 1 game at Sacramento.
See, Kobe loves that baseline, and no help till late. Goes to the other side, and Shaq sprints the lane, and he turns, and he gets Olajuwon, just buries him with his body. There's nothing he could do, and just turns and dunks the ball in the basket.
Bryant lays it in. He could have had the 3, but instead took it right down the lane.
Now, Ahmad talked about talking to Rudy T about closeouts. That's what he's talking about. You got to make Kobe shoot the jump shot. You can't let him break you down and get in the lane and shoot layups.
Scottie Pippen on the move. Tried to get it back, and there's a foul. Let's go back to Kobe's last move.
This guy is a slasher and a cutter, Kobe Bryant. So out of this rotation, look at Dickerson run at him, and Kobe just takes the ball right past him. You've got to be under control. You've got to square the guy up, and you got to make him shoot a jump shot. Now, the rest of this is Kobe Bryant, but you've got to do a good job of squaring him up and keeping him out of the lane.
The foul was on Kobe, his 3rd. There are times when you can justly criticize his shot selection and his decisions, especially late in close games. But he's never discouraged. He always believes he will make a great play the next time he touches the ball.
I would agree with that completely. For a young player, tremendous confidence. Now, the question is, who's this foul on? Is it on Kobe? If it is, it's his 4th foul, and he's probably going to have to sit down. You see the metamorphosis of this great young talent. Minutes when he was 17, 18 years old, and his points and what he's done. And he's growing into greatness out here, and it's going to happen.
That foul was on Kobe, his 4th. Rick Fox is up off the bench, but for the moment, Kobe stays in, guarding Dickerson, each of them with 4 fouls. Pippen against Rice. Reed over on the double team. Dickerson for 3. He's made 2 in a row.
Now, they had 1 3 in the first half, 1 of 6. Already Dickerson has hit 2, and with the 3s, we got a 7-point game. Chipping away little by little.
Kobe spinning, up in the air, missing badly. The rebound to Olajuwon. Now, there's a bad decision. He knows he's coming out of the game.
Right.
Fox is at the scorer's table, and he looks to pull the trigger once more. Here's Pippen.
Well, more importantly, Bob, what happens if he leaves his feet like that and picks up his 5th foul? You can't make a play like that. And now, all of a sudden, the momentum has swung to the Rockets.
Houston has outscored LA 12-6 in the 3rd quarter, and the Lakers asked for a 20-second timeout. Here's Fox in for Bryant, immediately scoring and picking up the foul that will send him to the line.
Now, here's what happens with matchups, Bob. You talk about what do you do, subtle little things. Scottie Pippen is guarding Glenn Rice. Normally, he would maybe play a Rick Fox. So what happens is now you've got Mobley playing on Fox because Dickerson has 4 fouls. So Fox can post. Let's see if they go back to that matchup.
Barkley slings it all the way down to the other end for Dickerson, who hung back and converts the basket.
Should never happen. Never happen where you allow a guy to throw the ball length of the floor like that after a free throw and score.
Alert play by Barkley. Olajuwon trying to contend with O'Neal and hold on. Olajuwon argues the call. It's his 4th foul.
Well, we talked also that Hakeem has got to stay on the floor. He can't get in foul trouble. The problem for the Rockets, who's the big guy they can bring in? Stanley Roberts, who's just really been activated and is horribly out of shape right now. So will Shaq be able to take advantage of this? Maybe not just scoring, but will he free up open shots for his teammates, because they're probably going to have to double team.
Stanley Roberts is 7 feet tall and an unsculpted 290. Derek Fisher. Shaq against his old LSU teammate, deals it back out to Fisher. His pass in the lane intended for Reed, intercepted by Barkley, ahead for Mobley, and Mobley wanted to call a timeout. Let's see if they grant it.
Well, 2 years ago,
that
would have been a good one, but you're not going to get that one running out of bounds right now. He tried to call timeout, but his momentum was taking him off the floor. They will not give you that timeout now. I think this is a great rule change right here. You've got to be able to come down and make a play to get that timeout.
You know who was the master of that under the old rule was Rodman. In midair, he'd do it. Behind the screen from Reed, Fisher connects for 3.
How big has he been today? 13 points now for Fisher. They had 4 guys in double figures already today, the Lakers.
And for the moment, he supplants Derek Harper as the guy who will play the important minutes in the playoffs.
No double team.
Barkley. Can't take advantage. Fisher, the little guy, is there for the rebound. On the drive. And the ball goes out of bounds, touched last by Houston.
Derek Fisher playing terrific basketball. He's confident. You see going underneath the screen, Dickerson. Fisher gets himself together, squares it up, and knocks into the 3 for his 13th point of the game. Are playing beautiful team basketball. You see Shaquille O'Neal with the 3 assists, and I really think he sets the tone. And when they're moving the basketball and playing team basketball, the give and go, the layup by Glenn Rice, moving the ball out of the double teams, Rice buries the 3. Shaq again to Derek Fisher this time, and also a 3. And now Kobe Bryant with a 3. But when they're moving the basketball, they have so much firepower. And you can see what they're doing now for the season. Normally they average about 22 assists a game. They already have 20 today. 4 guys in double figures. They lead by 9.
And it's their ball as play resumes. Here's Rick Fox. Can't take the lead to double figures. Dickerson out of the corner, drives baseline. Almost lost it, got it back, stuck with it. And it's a 7-point game.
This young guy's shown a lot, Bob. He got off to a horrible start. He's coming to life.
Roberts went for the steal, and Shaq just wheeled around him for the slam. O'Neal with 14. Only a couple of weeks ago, watching the Lakers not only lose, but lose in embarrassing and uninspired fashion, you would have thought this kind of turnaround would have been impossible. Here's Mobley into a cluster of yellow shirts and a Laker foul.
Shaquille O'Neal's trying to post up. You see Stanley Roberts just grabs onto his jersey trying to hold on here. Shaq way too powerful, but You got to square Shaq up. You can't give him those uncontested shots like that.
Foul was on Shaq, his second. Mobley, the rookie out of Rhode Island, hits the first. Next Sunday on NBC, Rob Lowe stars in Atomic Train, a runaway train carrying a deadly cargo headed straight for an American city. A father risks everything to save his family. Atomic Train, NBC, next Sunday. Mobley makes them both. Now, not to overstate, this year's Houston Rockets are not one of the all-time great NBA teams. And they did just close the season with 4 wins in a row, not 10 or 12. And they are winning just 1 playoff game at this point, but it looks like an entirely different Laker team. The shot spins out for Fox. The follow isn't there. Reed picks it up. Rice shows he can do it on the drive as he draws the foul.
Glenn Rice. This is the Glenn Rice that I know that I got a chance to coach in the '97 All-Star game when he set a record for points in the 3rd quarter. He broke Wilt Chamberlain's record. But look at this quick first step. That's Scottie Pippen that he's going around. And then the nice finish. Can't quite get it to go, but he's going to the free throw line. But, Bob, when you have that kind of activity, I always say to young players, if you're going to stand behind that three-point line and count on making threes, you put yourself in a position where if you're not shooting a good percentage, it's tough to make any contribution. When you're driving and being active, you make so many things happen for your team, and that's what Rice is doing, just the movement.
The last foul was on Stanley Roberts. He goes out of the game, and for the first time, we see the 15-year veteran, 37-year-old Antoine Carr for Houston.
See, I think it's vital right now for the Lakers as Rice makes his free throw to put some distance between them with Olajuwon sitting on the bench. It's a chance for them in the last 5 minutes and 40 seconds here to maybe get a double-digit lead, maybe 15, 16-point lead.
Only 4 seconds to shoot. Dickerson on the run. And he lucked out because somebody fouled him. He was between Rice and Fox, and it looked like Fox over the back. And it was.
Anytime a guy's taking a flying shot like that at the shot clock, you don't want to foul him because referees don't want to put a guy on the line shooting a shot he's probably not going to be able to make. And that's a bad foul by Rick Fox. And what's happened is Dickerson's gotten very involved, Bob, in this quarter after the horrible start. He's had a very good 3rd quarter.
The rookie Dickerson, though, is the worst free throw shooter of any of the Rocket regulars. Shooting 64% from the line. He's the only Rocket under 70.
So he has 11 points all in this quarter. Remember, he had nothing at half other than 3 fouls in 6 minutes.
O'Neal with Carr on him. Fisher fakes the 3, gives it back to Shaq for the hook. That's short. He shot it flat. Mobley brings it back. Pull-up 3 is there.
The Lakers aren't taking advantage of a wonderful opportunity here. Olajuwon not only will come back in the 4th quarter, but he's going to be fresh.
Ruled at 2, just an inch inside the line. A 2-point basket, not a 3. Here's Rice for 2. Off the back iron, Shaq, offensive glass. He misses. It's an air ball, and it will belong to Houston.
So I think with Antoine Carr in the game right now, if Shaq gets that ball deep, you don't mind if he takes 4 or 5 fouls right now. Make him make some free throws. No layups, no dunks, none of those easy baskets.
The Laker lead is 6. Barkley against J.R. Reed. Pippen. Now Mobley. A whistle from Dick Bavetta. The ball was kicked with 4 seconds on the shot clock.
They'll reset now, get a new 24.
Derek Fisher goes out, and Derek Harper is in. Robert Horry also up off the bench, replacing J.R. Reed. L.A. is led by as many as 11. They're up by 6 now. Barkley with Ori on him. Jumper in the lane, drops.
Charles could take that matchup. He's got the power. He can back him down in there, and you can see the Lakers' philosophy. They're going to make him score, not let him be a passer.
11 for Charles now. O'Neal is wrapped up and fouled.
Charles is just so strong, and you see he's going to take his time. He's got his eyes up. He's always looking for the double team. It's his rhythm, and Ori now is a pretty good shot blocker at 6'10", got those long arms, but Charles just bumps him and gets some space to get that shot off.
That was foul number 1 on Antoine Carr.
See, I think you might see Shaq shoot 6 or 7 free throws, maybe 8 free throws in this last few minutes here, unless he can knock these down, which he does on the first. They're not going to give him any easy baskets, Bob.
In 13 playoff games last year, Shaq averaged 30.5 points and shot better than 61% from the floor. Makes 1 of 2 at the line here. Pippen asks for time as the Rockets come to the front court. 3.5 minutes to play in the third. It's a 5-point game. He felt it, that's for sure.
All to get a timeout.
What did I do to deserve that, says Rick Fox, who's guarding Pippen as the ball is put back into play. Barkley with Ori on him. Harper comes over on the double team, got a piece of it, and then saves it to Ori. Nice play by the veteran. Here's Ori on the wing. Missing on the run, and Pippen takes it. The Rockets come back. Barkley pulls up and banks it in.
See, they want to run anytime they get a chance. Made field goal, they can't run very often, but normally miss field goal, turnover, and quietly, Bob, the Lakers have blown a big opportunity here with Akeem in foul trouble to blow this game open.
Houston closes to within 3, and Carr has no choice but to bear hug O'Neal. Coming up on NBC.
A train carrying a deadly cargo.
He's going to die if he doesn't get help.
The heroes who fought to save a city. Atomic Train, NBC next Sunday.
First one's good for Shaq.
See, you can see the Rocket philosophy here. If Shaq catches it deep the rest of the quarter, they're going to foul him. And even if he makes 1 out of 2, you got a chance to trade 2 for 1, maybe 3 for 1. And that's what's happened. He's split 2 free throws both times right now, so he's 2 out of 4 here.
Rockets trailing by only 4. Dickerson around the Carr screen, now to Mobley. 5 seconds to shoot. Coutinho Mobley into a crowd, but there's a Laker foul.
You know, Bob,
and a technical may be tacked on. Let's watch it.
Well, Mobley's going to go baseline, and he's going to go up strong, and he's going to get fouled. And then it's actually Ori who shoves him in the back. That's a little acting there. Robert Ori gets called with a technical, so now we've got 3 free throw opportunities here for Mobley.
That really wasn't much that Ori did there, but he's hit with the tee.
And Bob, what's happened really also, too, with the Lakers here, they've not taken advantage. Kobe Bryant being down, their offense doesn't have the same rhythm. He created so many opportunities, so him getting in foul trouble has really hurt them in this quarter. The Rockets have been able to sort of stand through this with Olajuwon being down. And again, Olajuwon is going to be rested for this 4th quarter. When are the Lakers going to rest Shaq? At some point, they have to rest him, and then can the Rockets take advantage of that?
Mobley, an 82% free throw shooter, missed the technical. Now he has 2 coming.
Rick Fox here is the recipient again of Antoine Carr. Shaq's going to get his guys killed there. He's got to call those out. That's your big guys. You're out there pressuring the basketball. You count on them from behind to let you know that there's screens coming, either left, right, something.
Here's Fox to Carr. Hey, Antoine, you're 37 years old. If you want to retire now, I'll buy you the gold watch. Just get out of my face. Here's Rice. Head fake on Pippen. He slips and hits anyway. But he's hobbling. Rice comes away hobbling a little bit. after a nearly impossible make.
Bob, I couldn't tell if his foot just slipped or did he step on Scottie Pippen's foot. Where did the foul come from? I guess Scottie came in underneath him there, sort of low bridged him. You see Glenn Rice wears these really heavy braces on his leg. You see his left ankle just sort of tweaks it a little bit, but if you get a chance, look at those ankle braces he has. They're really unique, and that really they go up over his leg, over the top of his ankle. They go up high. You see those bobbing, so he's had ankle problems, and he feels like that prevents him from really rolling his ankles over.
Three-point play for Rice, who is 10 of 13 from the floor in this game. Here's Cuttino Mobley. 7 on the shot clock. Ball knocked out. Houston keeps it. 1:55 to play in the third, and they trail by 5.
Now, in the first quarter, the Rockets went on a 6-0 run to finish the quarter. In the second, it was the Lakers 13-6. Let's see who wins the end of this quarter.
Pippen fires and hits a 2.
Most deadly guy throwing the ball inbounds is the guy who's going to step back in, especially with the clock winding down. See if they foul.
It's Rick Fox returning it to O'Neal with the hook that spins out. Ori flies in to back tap it. Lakers retain possession. Shaq again, and this time it's there.
I'm shocked they didn't foul him. It's really worked the last 2 times. Why not do it again? I don't care if Carr gets in foul trouble.
Well, he brought him in fresh. He hadn't played the whole first half. He had plenty of fouls to give. That appeared to be the strategy, but not on that Laker possession. Cuttino Mobley. The rebound to Ori. Quick outlet to Fox. Lob for O'Neal. And they call a foul on Shaq as he shoved Pippen to the floor.
You see, Shaq is really running out on the break. Antoine Carr cannot get back with him. Scottie gets in front of him. You see the left arm, and you say, you know what, that was just a little push. Yeah, a little push. You're 7'3", 335. You take that little push, and you're going to end up where Scottie did. I think that's a good call.
We move inside a minute. Rice kicked it, and a fresh 24 for the Rockets. Houston was just 3-12 against the top teams in the league this year, the teams with the highest winning percentage. 28-7 against the rest of the NBA. And as we said, they won only 1 game on the road during the regular season against a team that wound up with a winning record. Pippen misses the 3. Rebound juggled, and finally it's the Lakers with it.
Like at the last possession here, there's a little bit of disparity in the shot clock and the game clock, but not much, about 2.5, 3 seconds.
Rice. Can he stay hot? You bet.
We saw it at the end of the half, the 3. You see it at the end of the third quarter.
Barkley beats the buzzer, but misses. Well, the Rockets had it down to 2, but they trail by 7, heading for the final 12 minutes.
Now, although this is just a 2, it's a big momentum shot. The Rockets had worked themselves back into the game. Glenn Rice squares himself up. Scottie has to respect his driving ability during that period of time. Can the Rockets get back into the game with Shaq sitting down?
So for the moment, it's Rooks against Olajuwon. Harper running the point as the fourth quarter starts for LA. Here's Rice on fire.
See, he's getting that ball in the shooting pocket. That guy who makes the pass, the defender, has got to come back and get help. That's a tight curl, and Scottie's trailing that. He's got to get some help from his teammates.
Rice is 12 for 15. Barkley against Ori, and an illegal defense is called against the Lakers.
Watch as this comes off. That's where Mobley's got to go back and give help. Force him to kick that ball out to Harper. Rice has got it going right now. You got to make him a passer, and Mobley there's got to give Scottie Pippen some help as he's trailing on that screen.
Barkley just holding it for the moment. Now commences his dribble, spins by Ori, and scores.
He's got amazing talent and quickness for a big man like that. The ability to roll off that defender.
15 for Charles. Rice gets rid of it to Harper, who misses the three. Ori is there to try to keep it alive, but there's a Laker foul, a loose ball foul. And it's on Rooks, his first.
Look at the power and quickness of Charles Barkley. Spins off. Great body control, knows where that basket is all time. Great move there by Barkley. And on that defensive possession, Mobley helped and forced Rice to be a passer, and Harper missed the shot. That's good defense.
Trying to cut it to 5 here, or 4 with a 3. 5 seconds to shoot. It's Mack for 3, and it's there.
See, Glenn Rice can't help off that. He cannot allow the ball to come right back out to Sam Mack. He's got to force Barkley to swing that ball to the other side.
Pippen's got Harper, jumper over him, no. It bounces to Mack, and here comes Houston, trailing by only 4. Again, the offense starts with Barkley. He gets it back from Mack. Backs Ori down, and the little hook is good. It is again a 2-point game.
See, when you make those 3-point shots, that team is so scared to go back and help. That time Harper did not want to help, and Barkley the single coverage.
Rice along the baseline gets rid of it to Rooks, and now Ori, and Robert Ori connects. That's his first field goal. It comes at an opportune time with the Rockets making a run.
Shaq and Kobe ready to check in at the next dead ball, too, so Kurt does not want this game to slip away.
Barkley leans inside Rooks. The bank is closed for him. Ball tapped to the side. Pippen chases it down. Mobley underneath for Pippen. Wow.
That was great eye contact. Scottie Pippen just pointed at the basket to Mobley. So I'm cutting to the basket, and a great pass. That is great communication there between two players.
Here's Rice. Finally, he misses one. Mobley's pass. Deflected, but Pippen has it. Here's Scottie. Into a crowd, but back outside to the open Mack. Sam Mack will hit those threes if you give him any kind of room.
Do you think that the three-point shooting triggers this offense? Remember, they're down 11 at halftime. They only have 1. They have shot themselves back into this game with the three-point shot.
Timeout Lakers. Houston on a 12-2 run, and they've taken the lead.
Watch Scottie Pippen. Watch him. He's down here in your lower left-hand corner. He's going to point to the rim. He sees Harper not watching him, right to the basket. Great eye contact and a great pass. And Sam Mack, off the great penetration by Pippen, squares himself up and buries the 3, and the Rockets have taken the lead. .6:34 to go in the fourth quarter. The Rockets by 2, and to me, this is the first little test that the Lakers are going to face. All game long, they've done it as a team. They're down 2 now. Will they resort to individual play, or will they still play as a team and trust one another to finish this game off?
Here's Shaq, fouled by Carr. The basket doesn't count. Foul before the shot.
What you're going to see, if Shaq catches the ball down there, they're going to foul him. And again, Antoine Carr can take the fouls. Olajuwon cannot. He's sitting on the bench right now with 5 fouls. I'm sure they'd like to get him back at about the 3-minute mark if they possibly could.
3 now on Carr, who again tries to contend with Shaq, who has it back from Rice. Into the lane he goes. Up with the hook. It doesn't drop. And Mobley takes it.
That was really a pretty good stop by Shaq right there. But you know what I think happens, Bob? He thinks he's going to get fouled, and I think he hurries his shot sometimes in the fourth quarter.
Here's Barkley. to the 2-point lead. Lakers come back looking for the tie or the lead with a 3.
That's where you got to
Into
foul.
Shaq, immediately fouled by Carr, who gets much the worse of it as he stumbles away. It looked like he caught an elbow right at the point of his shoulder.
Now I'm going to talk. This is a big man here, Antoine Carr. Okay, that's a big man. And when he's up against Shaq, he looks like a little guy. Look at Shaq inside her, just buries him. You can't just right there, and you can see just the power in Shaquille O'Neal. That didn't look like that was anything major. It almost paralyzed his right arm.
Look at the arms on Antoine Carr. He looks like a weightlifter, but again, he's a relative featherweight against Shaq.
You just see the power of that man. Now Olajuwon back in there, so they can't foul. Will they double team? And if they do, does that free up 3-point shooting?
They'll take it right at him. It only makes sense. It's Shaq, and there it is.
Way too slow on the help, though. Rudy T's got to get his guys back in there right now. Shaq will just back him down to the basket and score.
Tied at 85. Barkley, nice move with the left hand.
See, no 3-point shooting there that time because no double coverage, and Barkley just punished Ori inside.
19 for Charles. Shaq, Olajuwon left alone with him for the moment. He takes it inside, and Olajuwon can only do so much. His next foul ends his day.
Well, the Rockets got a problem here right now. They can't keep giving up layups. They've got to do something defensively to get that ball out of his hands.
Olajuwon tries to answer, and does.
Maybe they think you're just going to outscore him. I don't know. Somebody's got to stop somebody here.
19 for Olajuwon. Shaq has 24. Fisher, open 3.
That's trust. That's trusting your teammate. Derek Fisher out of the double team. He buries the 3. So the quandary that the Rockets are in now, if we don't double, we got a one-on-one. If we do, we got a confident 3-point shooting team.
A big 16 from Derek Fisher today. Olajuwon way short with the turnaround. Bryant has the rebound. Rice on the wing. Inside the shot. You want to talk about teamwork? Here's Rice, who is sizzling the last few games. Had every right to take that open shot, but instead was looking for Shaq, and there's no higher percentage than an O'Neal dunk.
At the 6:34 mark, the Lakers were down by 2. They could have fragmented, tried to do it alone. No double team. Shaq lays the ball in the basket. Mobley comes down the next time and double teams. He said, my teammate is open. Derek Fisher, you got to make that shot for me. And he knocks the 3 in. And then moments ago, Glenn Rice, who's been on fire all day long, Kobe the unselfish play. Rice says, no, my teammate's got a better one, and the dunk. And that is team basketball. That's how you win, and that's how everybody's involved. And for Shaq, he didn't force anything early. 2 points in the first quarter, but look how steady he's been. 8 in the fourth, 26 for the game. Very, very good, sound basketball.
They're just about raising the roof here at the Forum, but it's still only a 3-point game. Barkley makes it 1, and there's a whistle on top of it. Houston will have a chance to tie.
See, now they got a problem. You got Barkley on the low post. The 3-point shot is in the game for them. Do you double team Barkley and free up the 3-point shooter? What you've got to do is stay down on Barkley. He comes in with the pump fake and then up and unders, and there's no help on that side of the floor. We could be in for a terrific finish here. The team with the ball last might win this game.
Barkley's got 22, and it's even at 92. Again, they look for Shaq, and this time it's Barkley who hugs him for the quick foul. Tonight, following the game, Dateline at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, followed by the NBC movie based on the true story of a killer and a father's mission of justice that spanned 2 continents. Hunt for the Unicorn Killer later tonight on NBC. That one's long, one more coming. .54% for the year. Actually his best in a few years. But not good enough. Not good enough so that other teams won't pursue the strategy that Houston has pursued in this fourth quarter, and he misses them both.
See, Charles Barkley's got 2 fouls. They'll put him on him now. He's got 2 or 3 fouls he can waste. So look for Barkley to guard Shaquille O'Neal and take those fouls every time down the floor he gets a chance.
And Dick Bavetta says, hold on. There's a foul on J.R. Reed. That'll be 4 on him.
That's also the 4th team foul. So the next foul, the Rockets will shoot free throws. The Lakers already are. Will this become a foul shooting contest? And remember, Bob, you talked about the Laker free throw shooting woes, where they are in the league, one of the bottom teams.
Here's Barkley. It spins out. L.A. looks for the lead. Fisher fakes the 3, drives to the hole, throws it up on the run, and there's a foul.
How about the confidence in Derek Fisher? We got a tie game here, game 1 of the playoffs. 3 minutes to go in the game. He just puts his head down and lowers it and goes to the basket. That's what happens when you're involved throughout the game and you've gotten good shots and you're playing well. 16 points, you see, he shot the ball very, very well, so he's a confident player right now.
76% free throw shooter. Really, it's Shaq's poor free throw shooting, as Derek Harper, the veteran, applauds from the bench as his one-time understudy. Derek Fisher is carrying the load now. It's the disproportionate number of free throws taken by Shaq that makes the Lakers a poor free throw shooting team. The rest of the guys who get a lot of time are all pretty good or better than that.
That's why I think you'll see Barkley over on Shaq the last couple minutes of just taking fouls. Lakers need to stop here. They need to give themselves some cushion.
Inside 3 minutes. Barkley wide open. Thought about it twice and hit it.
That was a great set play. A lot of movement, back picking, and Shaq got caught on a back pick that time by Olajuwon, and Barkley was free.
At age 36, still a potentially great playoff performer. Fisher for 3. Just short. Rebound Olajuwon. Now Houston can take the lead. Mack drives it into the lane, confronted by O'Neal, who fouled him. And that's 4 on Shaq.
The movement on this play gets Charles Barkley. Just watch Barkley now. Shaquille is going to be in the play. Watch the back pick. Actually, Shaq just sort of loses sight of him, worrying about Olajuwon. I thought it was a back pick the first time I saw the play, and Barkley was so wide open. He almost had too much time to take the shot, Bob. Those are the hardest ones to make when you're that open.
Sam Mack, 82% at the line. 2:18 left. This is for the lead. Now Olajuwon is going to go out, at least for a moment, and Carr comes in because obviously the Lakers will have the ball.
Obviously, you want to be able to protect the fouls on Olajuwon. You go offense, defense now. You tell Antoine Carr if he gets deep, fouling.
Got them both.
See what you also do, too, Bob, you use your timeouts here. If you stop them, maybe you take a timeout and get Olajuwon back for offense. So this is where you use your timeouts judiciously to get your offense, defense on the floor.
Houston has 3 and a 20 left. The Lakers have 3 full timeouts, no 20. Shaq, the hook. It's long, and he doesn't get the bounce. Pippen brings it out of the backcourt. We move inside 2 minutes. Barkley, the reverse. He was fouled by Reed, who pleads his case to no avail. That's 5.
When we talked about the open of the game, we said they had nobody to guard Barkley. That's where they miss an Eldon Campbell, a guy who's got some size. J.R. Reed not big enough. Robert Horry not strong enough. Single coverage, Barkley will get the shots. Double coverage, then you worry about the three-point shooting. That's why it's so important for the Rockets to shoot the perimeter shot.
Barkley, 72%. In the game a couple of weeks ago in Houston, Rambis wanted Bryant to leave Scottie Pippen and double down on Barkley, and Bryant sort of disrespected his coach, said, no, I don't want to do it because Barkley's effective passing out of the double team. And Rambis, after urging him to do it a few times, finally excused himself from the huddle. The coach walked away, shook his head, and said, look, whatever you want to do. And Bryant kind of smirked at Rambis, and everyone thought that was a low point, all things considered. But from there, they've gotten it together and become a different team in the last couple of weeks.
Well, that was a big free throw that Charles missed. Instead of a 4-point lead, it's only 3. It means one possession ties you.
Sam Mack picks up that foul. Both teams are in the penalty. This is Olajuwon's reaction on the bench as Barkley misses the second of 2.
Well, he knows, Hakeem has been around long enough to know that a 4-point lead is 2 possessions, a 3 only 1. That's how important that free throw was.
The Lakers take a full timeout with 1:31 to play in the 4th. Kobe Bryant is at the line. 1:31 remaining.
You know, Bob, it's interesting as you watch Kobe take this free throw. The game we watched yesterday, Miami, New York, these were 2 teams built on defense. These 2 teams really depend on offense. Look what their records are. 18-2 when they score, 119-5. Both of them under 500. If Kobe knocks this in, we're going to have a 97-96 score. Maybe the first team to 100 might win today, but that has been a real barometer for these teams' success this year. 15 points for Bryant. I'm surprised Olajuwon's not on the floor. They need him here for offense.
Fisher reaching in to take it away, and then Mobley trying to take it back, commits the foul. Both teams in the penalty. Fisher will shoot.
See Mobley here start to make the pass, and then he tried to pull it back as Mack cut across the middle instead of popping out. That's rookie experience or inexperience right there. Mobley upset, but after that play was over, both Pippen and Barkley walked over. Keep your head up. We need you to finish this game. But I'm a little bit surprised that Rudy T has not put Olajuwon back in the game here. They need his offense.
He remains seated as Fisher, a 76% free throw shooter, ties the game. And then gives the Lakers the lead. Houston asks for time. They're trying to wrest the home court advantage in this best-of-5 away from the Lakers in the opener. They trail by 1 with 1:17 left. Back after these messages from your local station. This is the NBA on NBC.
And now Olajuwon is back on the floor for this possession. I think it's vital. Interesting enough, Mobley's still handling the basketball rather than Scottie Pippen.
Clock ticking down toward a minute. Here's Olajuwon. Read on him. Spins past him and scores. Plus the foul.
That's a touch foul. You give up a 3-point play opportunity. You've got the odd point in your favor. The last thing you want to do. Question is, why is J.R. Reed guarding Olajuwon rather than Shaquille O'Neal? Basically knows he can turn and score against him. This has been a game of some odd matchups late in this ball game.
Well, Reed won't guard him anymore. He's fouled out. Now Hakeem, 72% at the line. Robert Horry comes in as Reed leaves.
Free throw so vitally important here. This free throw gives you a 2-point lead and protects that only a 3 would give the Lakers a lead. Remember, Barkley missed 1 of 2.
Hakeem's got it.
First team to 100 is the Rockets. It'll be interesting what the Lakers do. Now, Derek Fisher, 7 points in the 4th quarter. Kobe Bryant, none. Glenn Rice, 1 hoop.
Here's Rice. Can't rectify that situation. He'd been completely on fire, and he shoots an air ball with the game on the line.
All right, now, Rockets have the ball, Bob. They have a 2-point lead. See, if they go back to Olajuwon, this time I think Shaq is going to have to play him. He's only got 4 fouls. They got Horry playing him now. That's another mismatch. He can score against this if he just takes his time.
8 seconds to shoot. It's Olajuwon, overshot it, air ball, grabbed by Shaq, who immediately is grabbed by Barkley. Well, this strategy makes perfect sense for Houston. They're going to send Shaq to the line. Immediately following the game in most parts of the country, Dateline NBC, then the movie The Hunt for the Unicorn Killer. In this game, O'Neal at the line is 4 of 12, 54% for the season, but 4 of 12 even worse in this game.
Well, how often do you see somebody foul at 29 seconds up 2? That's where the free throw shooting comes in. Barkley took the smart foul there, realizing maybe he's going to split a pair here. Now there's a 4.4-second differential. The Lakers foul, or do they try to guard it out and get the rebound? I mean, this is now where strategy comes in.
Shaq manages to make it a 1-point game. Here's Sam Mack. I think you play straight-up defense. Barkley. A little contact with Ori.
And Sam Mack's not a good ball handler now. They got to watch this with him.
Pippen up top. Falls down. Ball loose. Fisher dives for it. Great play and calls for timeout. Fisher, who has played a marvelous game, turns in a huge play here.
Scottie Pippen on the drive looks like he just lost his balance, and when he did the loose ball in extra possession, how many times we talk about it in playoff games? The good defense that time by Kobe. Looks like Scottie's leg just buckled there, and look at Fisher come from nowhere, dive on the floor, and get the timeout. These are game-winning kind of plays for your team. Look at Fisher give up his body for his team.
Seven seconds and change to decide it.
Where will they go? Critical time, big playoff game to keep the home court advantage.
Glenn Rice with 29 points on 12 of 17, hasn't scored since he made the first basket of the fourth quarter. Ori's going to throw it in. Barkley's on him. O'Neal, Rice, Ori, Fisher, and Bryant. 7.6 seconds. Into Kobe. Off the dribble. There's contact on a block. The foul is on Mack, and it will send Bryant to the line. He's an 84% free throw shooter.
It looked like Sam Mack stumbled, and then Kobe tripped over him. Let's watch as they run this play. Sam Mack runs out. Watch if he stumbles. There he sort of falls down and sticks his leg out. That's a good call. Mack was going down and sort of got him with his leg, and you see the emotion in this game and the importance of foul shooting. Kobe with a chance to give his team a 1-point lead if he makes them both. Still a lot of time at 5.3 seconds to go.
He's made all 4 he's tried today. That ties it.
That's the hardest one to make. The one that ties it.
For the lead. Houston takes time. They still have 1 full timeout and a 20 remaining. The Lakers have 1 timeout left to them. We're coming back. Olajuwon has scored 22. Barkley has 25. Pippen, an overlooked good all-round game. 14 points, 8 assists, 10 rebounds.
You know, the amazing thing, Bob, in the next 5 seconds, one of these teams is going to be very excited, and the other one's going to be heartbroken over an opportunity that might have gotten away.
Don't forget about Sam Mack. If they leave him unattended, he is a stone-cold shooter. Pippen's going to throw it in.
Watch Olajuwon popping down toward that baseline area off the screen looking for a quick shot.
The Lakers take the delay of game, predictably. Now here we go. Pippen into Mobley. They got to hurry. 4 seconds. Mobley on the move to the basket. Lost it. There's the horn. Ball game. This is not what Houston had in mind as a first option.
How about the confidence they have in Catino Mobley? Here's a rookie playing his first playoff game. The ball is in his hands to make a play. He turns the corner. What was the knock on Shaq all year long? He won't play screen roll. This time he did, and it gave his team the win with a great block.
From behind, the clean